I love Five Nights at Freddy's. I've been a giant FNAF fan since way back in 4th grade when I was just a little boy. I have loved it my entire life and I still do. I also happen to love VR games. My favorite VR game of all time is a really close tie between The Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners, and Bone Lab, both amazing games, and I want to do videos on both of these games in the future, but that's not what I'm here to talk about. On August 19th, 2018, Five Nights at Freddy's VR Help Wanted was announced. Now, being a kid obsessed with FNAF, seeing a VR game where I could literally get to be in the FNAF office up close and get scared in VR, I lost my mind. On May 28th, 2019, Five Nights at Freddy's VR officially released for everyone. Now, I didn't actually get a VR until 2020, where I got an Oculus Quest for my birthday. Now, at the time, all I did was watch people play FNAF VR, and even when I got my VR, it wasn't actually on Quest yet, so I had to wait, I think, a few months. At the time, Dawko was my favorite YouTuber.
Fucking little fat squeaker little cunt.
So I'd watch countless videos that he made on it, and I mean, he made a lot. But I watched everyone's videos on it. Safe to say I was a little excited, and I'm not exaggerating. I checked the Oculus store daily waiting for it to release, and one morning it just did. And I bought it immediately, played it all day. This game is seriously amazing. As a FNAF fan, you will never have more fun in your entire life, but it's also scary as shit.
Oh, where's Bonnie? Bonnie's here. Where's Chica though?
I just wanted to make this video to talk about FNAF VR. Admittedly, most of my videos are just me talking about things I like. So yeah, but anyway, let's get straight into it. FNAF VR essentially consists of minigames, but those minigames just so happen to be the FNAF games we all know and love. The minigames consist of Five Nights at Freddy's 1, 2, 3, Dark Rooms, Parts and Service, Vent Repair, and Night Terrors. In this video, I'm gonna go over a lot of things. In said levels, there are coins hidden throughout, giving a fun little thing you can find with 30 coins in total. But starting with the minigames themselves. Five Nights at Freddy's 1. FNAF 1 is just the same as the original, but in VR. And let me tell you, being in the office yourself is anything but pleasant. The gameplay is the same, except you actually have to manually press the light and door buttons. And I promise you, it's not as easy as it seems. Seeing the animatronics up close and personal is seriously a different experience. And I gotta be honest, this is one of my favorite modes in the game, as I just love FNAF 1. And actually playing it in VR is such an experience and also just so fun. It's very surreal being in the office you have played on flat screen. However, being in the office yourself definitely adds to the scare factor dramatically. Not much else to say, honestly. It's FNAF 1. The second mode is obviously FNAF 2. Now, I could say the same things about FNAF 2 as I did about FNAF 1. FNAF 2 is slightly easier than the original, actually, because you can wind up the music box while doing other things like checking lights, so it's easier to manage them. The Wizards, other than Foxy, are unfortunately missing, but that will make more sense later. But I still will always love FNAF 2. Nothing changes that, and in VR it's all the more terrifying. Having all the animatronics get up close and personal with no doors to stop them once you put on the mask was terrifying enough back in 2014, and now in VR, all the more worse. Third is FNAF 3. Now, I'm not the biggest FNAF 3 fan, as I'm sure most FNAF fans aren't. The best thing about FNAF 3 is universally agreed to be Springtrap. I love Springtrap. But honestly, FNAF 3 in VR is seriously so much fun, way better than the original experience. The FNAF 3 experience is expanded greatly upon, and is seriously fun in VR. Avoiding the phantom animatronics in VR feels a lot more natural than the flat screen game. And seeing Springtrap in VR is the coolest thing ever. He is so cool looking in person. And FNAF 3 also overall is genuinely much easier, and I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I was going to. Next is Dark Rooms. Now, Dark Rooms was a minigame in FNAF 4 called Fun with Plushtrap, where you would try to stop Plushtrap on the X by letting him move in the dark. And for the first 2 games in Dark Rooms, it's really not too scary. However, it's still plenty unnerving and stressful. I also hate Nightmare Balloon Boy. Like, just look at that thing. Ugh! Then the third game mode is the Plush Babies. This one is hard. It's similar to the other modes, except there are 6 of them and your flashlight has battery. When your flashlight dies, you basically have to wait for it to charge enough for it to turn on. It basically means certain death. The tip for this level is to memorize their spots. As they have a few assigned spots they are in, it makes it a little easier. This one is so scary and so hard. Not much else to say though. The final one is the best Dark Rooms level, Funtime Foxy. Now, in my entire time of being a FNAF fan, Sister Location has always been my favorite out of the original 6 FNAF games. I love everything about it, and I could go on and on about Sister Location another time, as I do plan on doing a video on it. But in Sister Location, there is a part where you have to go through a dark room. Get it? Get it? Do you get it?
I'm sorry. And you try to maneuver your way around Funtime Foxy, who can only be seen using a short flash. And I mean, man, this shit is so scary. There will be countless times you'll flash and Funtime Foxy will just be right in front of you. Yeah, no. This one's really fun though, and I have forced friends to play this one, and I just personally love this one because it's Sister Location. And it's really cool since it's just a direct replica of a night from Sister Location. That's about it for Dark Rooms though. Next up is Parts and Service. Parts and Service is pretty straightforward. You get put in front of one of the 4 main animatronics, and you repair them. You are given really specific tasks to repair them, but one tiny error and you're dead. It's pretty fun, but definitely not my favorite. There honestly just isn't much to say about these modes. They're just a short, fun time, and they are also honestly the easiest levels by far, as all you have to do is listen to the instructions and you'll be fine. However, the first time playing them, being up close to the iconic animatronics is definitely nerve-wracking on your first time through, but after that, not so much. Now up next is Vent Repair. Now, there are only 2 different games for this section compared to the 4 every other one got, those 2 being Mangle and one of my favorites, Ennard. Vent Repair is pretty simple. For Mangle, you have basically 4 mini straightforward puzzles to get done, all while making sure Mangle doesn't kill you in the process by flashing your flashlight at it. This one is mega stressful. Also, if you have claustrophobia, I am very sorry. The second level, though, is one of my favorite characters in the FNAF franchise, Ennard. Now, this one is different. Instead of 1 floor like Mangle, there are 3. Each floor is a different set of puzzles. The first one, you just have to follow the wire to the correct button. Pretty simple. Second, you have to try and get all the gears working, however there is a time limit, and if you take too long, you're dead. Then on the final floor, you have to line up all the pipes. I'm trying not to spend too much time on each as to allow you to go experience it for yourself, but that's really it for Vent Repair. Short, but really fun nonetheless. Last up is by far the scariest minigame in FNAF VR. Night Terrors. Now, Night Terrors is essentially FNAF 4. Not even essentially. It is FNAF 4. The only catch is that it's 1 character per night. The first night is Funtime Freddy. You just play FNAF 4 as usual, but in VR. While keeping Funtime Freddy out of the room with the doors, you also have to deal with Bon Bon and Bonette, who hide in all sorts of corners in the level and jump scare you if you don't find them, but they don't kill you. This is by far the scariest mode. The second night is... oh god. Nightmarian. I despise this level with every fiber of my being. From the noises of his gross tentacles to the gross noises of his tentacles. It plays the exact same as FNAF 4 once again, but if you close him out of the room, you have to shine away his tentacles. I seriously can't explain how much I hate this. Not much else to say, it's scary as shit, and to play it yourself. Next up is a bit of a change of pace. You are still in the FNAF 4 room, however, in this game, you are in the closet the whole time. But you are placed right in front of Circus Baby herself. Seeing Circus Baby in VR is seriously so cool, as she was one of the highlights of Sister Location for me, and I seriously loved her and her lore. So seeing her like this is seriously something else. You basically have to shut the door of the closet before she gets in, but you can't do it for too long because the plush babies will kill you if you wait too long. But it's really not hard, it's just really cool overall. And last up on Night Terrors is, unfortunately, Nightmare Fredbear. Now, the thing is it plays exactly like Night 5 of FNAF 4. He can come from every single possible area, and let me tell you, Nightmare Fredbear was scary enough in FNAF 4, but in VR, just like everything else in this game, it is so much worse. He is so horrifying up close, just... God, I hate Night Terrors. So that's the base set of modes. As you beat the games each time you win, you get little prizes, which you can have at the prize counter. Which is pretty cool, honestly. I like that a little bit, it's cool. So after you complete every level of a certain minigame, you unlock Blacklight mode, which is essentially hard mode. They actually make a plushie series on the Blacklight mode, and I have the Foxy one. Blacklight mode acts as Night 5 for FNAF 1, 2, and 3, but it's super crazy. Night 5 of FNAF 1, everything is black and white, and sometimes the power just malfunctions. This version of FNAF 1 is extremely hard, and the animatronics are extremely aggressive. So when it comes to the power malfunctioning, it's just game over. For FNAF 2, everything is in the blacklight lighting. Remember earlier when I mentioned that the Wizards aren't in FNAF 2? Well, there's actually a separate Withered Knight in black mode. It even gets its own difficulty slider. This one is super cool. The Wizards were always a highlight, and seeing them in VR is so cool as everything else is in VR. Especially having a dedicated mode for them. While I would have obviously preferred having them with the original group in the classic nights, I'm not upset about it, and honestly it just serves as a scarier night of FNAF 2, especially seeing Withered Chica, who is one of the only animatronics that actually kinda creeps me out. FNAF 3's Night 5 is the Fire of Fazbear's Fright.
I love this one a lot, especially considering it's actually canon, and seeing all the fire is actually kind of fun, even if Night 5 is extremely hard. However, there aren't any actual new mechanics that are added to this night. The only changes are the way more frequent camera and ventilation and audio errors, as well as Springtrap just being extremely aggressive, but I found myself actually beating this level first try. Next is the Dark Rooms hard modes. Nothing too crazy, honestly. The plush babies one is kinda interesting. It just makes it all a little harder, but we do get the acknowledgement of FNAF 6, as they are like mini scrap babies. I thought this was actually really cool, and the main gimmick of this one is that all the plushies in the room are plush babies, so you just have to look out for the scrap baby plushies. The last one is the best one by far. It plays the same as the original Dark Rooms Funtime Foxy, however now everyone from Sister Location is here. It felt so amazing seeing all the Sister Location characters in one room and being recognized. This level plays out the exact same as the original level, just with quite a few more animatronics. Then you got the Parts and Service hard modes. Honestly, not much to say. Nothing really changes gameplay-wise, just the lighting and the way they look. Freddy's is cool though. Vent Repair is definitely reworked for hard mode. In Mangle, when the level starts, instead of one door opening at a time, they all open at once. And Mangle as well as Shadow Mangle attack you, so it's a lot more nerve-wracking and decently harder. Innards just adds a few more enemies, like Shadow Springtrap for some reason. The puzzles are the same, just a lot scarier, as well as the entire level being upside down. Like, how am I supposed to play this? Now the last one is a single mode. It is the Blacklight mode for Night Terrors. The game is called Pizza Party, and it serves as the final level for the entire game. It involves you navigating your way through multiple FNAF locations in the Blacklight, only armed with a flashlight and being supposedly guided in the right direction. But if you start going the wrong way or take too long, the music gets slower and slower before becoming eventually silent, resulting in a game over. Now admittedly, I beat this level by chance by guessing, but there's definitely a specific path to go on. I just wouldn't know what it is. Before I get into the ending of this level, I have to go back to the beginning to explain the story of this game. So from the very beginning, it is said to us that this VR game is actually being developed in the FNAF universe. It's being created by Fazbear Studios to sort of cover up the stories of the company, and even shows a photo of Scott Cawthon calling him a deranged lunatic, and that he made up these stories, which I think is pretty funny. Who are we then, you ask? We're playing as a beta tester for the game. Another thing to mention is that the hand unit talks to us rarely in the main hub, but he throws out some interesting things from time to time when he does. Things like digital consciousness transfer and buggy code, and even talking about some creature.
You acknowledge that Fazbear Entertainment is not responsible for accidental digital consciousness transference, real-world manifestations of digital characters, nightmares, night terrors, night sweats. Please be aware that there may be visual artifacts left behind from the beta testing phase of development. If you see any such artifacts, we recommend that you not interact with them. We'll weed them out eventually. There's no guarantee that we'll weed them out eventually.
But he talks really fast as he does, as if he didn't mean to say them where he had to. Throughout the game and levels, it's possible to find these glitched out purple tapes. Finding more of these tapes will spawn it. This entity can be seen in the doorway in the hub area, simply staring at you and waving. In the beginning, he's more of a translucent green shape, but every tape you get, he gets closer and his body builds up more and more. But he doesn't exactly do anything. Upon finding all of the tapes, he simply stands next to you. He doesn't attack you or anything. You may be wondering what these tapes even do. Well, in Blacklight mode, there's a glitchy tape player, and if you touch it, you get teleported to an empty room with the rack of tapes you've collected, as well as a tape player. These tapes were recorded by an unknown woman named Tape Girl, who created this space away from the game to hide these tapes from the higher-ups at Fazbear Entertainment. The tapes are very out of order, but here's the order that is believed to be the correct way to listen to them. Anyway, these tapes reveal the dark story of this seemingly innocent recreation of the original FNAF games, beginning with the troubled development of the game. When they started developing the game, generally all seemed well, only for Fazbear Entertainment to do what they do best and cut corners. Instead of creating the characters in the game, they took old circuit boards and animatronic parts from the old locations to scan directly into the game, most of them being harmless, except for one. One part that was partially burned, found at the ruins of Fazbear's Fright. It's a piece of someone we all know very well. Springtrap. After scanning it in, it spawned a virus, the virus known as Glitchtrap, the digital manifestation of William Afton. But the virus does more than just linger around. When the Tape Girl and her team were testing the game themselves, Glitchtrap began changing people. She describes how one night she stayed later than everyone else, thinking she was alone. As she was leaving, she found one of her coworkers with the VR still on, but laying on the floor lifeless with his face on the floor next to him. He had cut off his face with a paper slicer. It's after this point she started trying to find a way to get rid of it,
and leaving these tapes out for us to find, as the other staff working on the game also started to change and act different. Although she worries that finding all of the tapes would reassemble him over time, as I stated before, it has. Glitchtrap's final goal is to merge with someone in the outside world, possess them and take over their body. Tape Girl's plan to get rid of him is to let him start merging with us, then shutting off the game, effectively killing him. And she explains that throughout the tapes. Now, let's get back to the pizza party, and we'll get back to this. After finding your way through the maze of the pizza party, we find ourselves in a backstage, with some animatronics seemingly being taken apart, only until...
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Fazbear Entertainment would like you to put your hands together for the one, the only.
We get stuffed into a Freddy suit, and the game ends with Glitchtrap dancing around the main room. Now this is one of several endings of the game, but this is considered to be the base ending. But there are quite a few other ones that require other steps. 2 other endings to be exact. The first of these endings is the merge ending. After finding the final 16th tape, Tape Girl reveals her plan to kill Glitchtrap as I stated earlier, letting him merge with you, then flip a switch to cause a hard reset of the game. After receiving and listening to this tape, at a random time when loading back into the main hub, Glitchtrap will loom over you, beginning to take over your body. If Tape Girl's instructions are not followed, you will get possessed by Glitchtrap. Implying that he escaped the game through your body, and you are sent to a game over screen. And the other ending is the trapped ending. During the same moment when Glitchtrap is trying to merge with you, if you actually follow Tape Girl's instructions and pull a switch to hard reset the game, the screen goes black and we are sent to a room with a metal door with handprints and scratches all over it, with a small door on the wall. Upon opening the door, Glitchtrap greets us. Only to disappear in the darkness after shushing us. We are then brought back to the main hub, where we now have a Glitchtrap plushie, implying we successfully sealed him away. FNAF VR's base game is an absolutely perfect FNAF game. But that wasn't the end of it. On October 23rd, 2019, Steelwool released a DLC for the game, a Halloween-themed DLC called The Curse of Dreadbear. And before I get into this DLC, I'd like to say how phenomenal it is. I love this DLC. The vibe is something great that absolutely nailed the aesthetic it went for, with absolutely great animatronic additions, and did a great job bringing back the nightmare animatronics from FNAF 4 into VR. Even the main menu is really awesome with the giant Dreadbear, who is one of the new main animatronics in this DLC, along with the lighting up the nightmare animatronics in the darkness around you. Moving to the main hub, you get shown the 3 modes of the DLC: Afraid of the Dark, Spooky Mansion, and Danger Keep Out. Even the hub area itself is a sight to behold with so many details. There are even random mini events that can happen, like sometimes you can see Dreadbear wandering aimlessly around and into the barn next to you. It's even possible to see a pirate ship in the lake. But aside from the overall aesthetics, let's get into the actual levels. Afraid of the Dark's first level is called Plushkin Patch. Now this level is the exact exact same as the plush babies level in the base game. Only difference now is that you're outside in a pumpkin patch and the plush babies are wearing Halloween masks. But the gameplay, in essence, is the exact same. Although I think it's a bit scarier being outside. It's a lot more eerie out there. Next in Afraid of the Dark is the Pirate Ride, which is one of my personal favorites from the DLC. It involves you sitting in a cart with a gun that shoots plastic balls. You go through a really cool themed ride shooting targets, and can I just say, they did an amazing job making this ride feel real. Each transition through the rooms and sections made it feel like an actual ride, how the lights would turn off and the machines would stop moving as your cart moved to the next area. One part I especially loved was the part where you go down into the water area. The transition is great and the actual underwater portion is super enjoyable. And there even is a secret in this ride. If you see the Helpy cutouts and you shoot them, you are diverted off the track, where you will go backstage to fight off Jacko Bonnie and Jacko Chica. Overall, it's a really fun level, and it's a lot of fun. And the final and third level in Afraid of the Dark is the Corn Maze. The Corn Maze is a super cool level, and it introduced a new animatronic named Grim Foxy, who's essentially just the same as Jacko Chica and Jacko Bonnie, but given a different name. In this level, you have to find one key that corresponds with one gate. There are 4, so you can just choose whatever gate you have the same key for and you can leave. The catch is that Grim Foxy is always hunting you. If he sees you, you have to hide in a cardboard cutout on the wall and he'll run past you. But I've had my fair share of deaths in this because Grim Foxy's quite quiet sometimes. Anyway, this level's super cool and actually has a couple secrets in it as well. All the cutouts look really nice and are references to other animatronics. Definitely really scary and a really cool additional animatronic. Next up on the set of levels is Spooky Mansion, with the first one being Hallway. Now, why I love this one is because the nightmare animatronics are back, and this hallway is not just any hallway. This is one of the hallways in FNAF 4. In this level, you are basically walking down the hallway. That's the whole thing, yeah. In the doors on your right and left, Nightmare Bonnie or Nightmare Chica could reach out at you. If you walk in front of them, you die, so you have to stop in front of them. The catch is that behind you, Nightmare Freddy is always walking towards you, so you need to manage your time well. And if Nightmare Foxy appears in front of you and you move at all, you're dead. So you have to manage your time pretty well, but overall, this level is so much fun. The nightmares are so scary in person. I think it's universally agreed that Five Nights at Freddy's 4 is the scariest FNAF game out of basically all of them. I mean, imagine if we got a full game like this. Anyway, the level ends really cool once you eventually win. You walk in to the FNAF 4 bedroom, and the level ends. One thing I forgot to mention is the windscreen is really cool. The windscreen is in the barn that you see in the menu. There's balloons and posters everywhere, and all the prizes are different. They're really cool. Second in Scary Mansion is Build-A-Mangle. In Build-A-Mangle, you have 2 conveyor belts next to you, with a big pit in the middle. You basically have to look on the screens to find the correct parts. If you see that part, you grab it and you throw it in the middle. The parts keep changing, so you need to keep an eye open. There's a couple catches to this. Sometimes there are frettles that'll appear on the conveyor belts. You have to zap them when they get close. And if you put any wrong pieces in, Mangle will slowly start to attack you. She appears on the ceiling looking down at you. The more you mess up, the closer she is to killing you. This level's pretty fun. It's pretty quick, but it's a nice little filler thing. And obviously it's always cool to see Mangle in VR. Second to last in Spooky Mansion is Trick or Treat. Now this one's actually really fun. There are Halloween masks all around you. Your goal is to guess who is at the door by the time is up. You can tell by looking around to see the animatronics moving around. The clear telltale sign is if they aren't there. If they aren't there and the time runs out, you put on the mask of who you think is at the door, and if they're there, they'll throw candy at you. There's a couple rounds of this, and they get harder as it goes on. At a certain point, Mangle can block one of the windows. To get rid of her, you just put on her mask. Anyway, pretty simple level, but it's always really cool to see these guys up close. Finally, in Spooky Mansion is my favorite level in this DLC. Dreadbear. In this level, you're bringing Dreadbear to life. It's like parts and service on crack. There's a lot of different things you have to do to fix up his brain. Changing colors, changing sizes, making sure the seismic whatever the fuck works. Sometimes the power can go out as well, and to turn on the power, it makes him angrier, making him angrier and angrier until he kills you. So you technically have a time limit. This level's super nerve-wracking again. I won't go too in detail on how to beat it, cause this again is my favorite level in this DLC, so I'd like you to go experience it for yourself. And finally, in the Curse of Dreadbear is Danger Keep Out. Now this one isn't like the other ones where each level is a whole separate thing. This one goes by nights. This game mode is essentially FNAF 1. You are in the FNAF 1 office, but instead of doors, they're boarded up. The place seems to be abandoned. Night 1 has Jacko Chica and Jacko Bonnie. You can see them on the cameras. If you see them, you can flash them, making them go away. The same goes for when they get to the doors, you can flash them away. When they get to the doors, they just start breaking down the wood. If they break down the wood, you die. The catch with this level is that you have extremely limited power. Each flash takes out a chunk of your power. To reset it, you just pull the lever. The problem is that when you pull the lever, you are completely defenseless while the power resets, so you have to use it sparingly and know when you're going to use it. Night 1 is pretty easy with just Jacko Bonnie and Jacko Chica. Night 2 makes things a little bit harder. It adds Grim Foxy as well. If you see him peeking out of Pirate's Cove, you have to flash him. If you don't, he'll run down the hallway just like old Foxy and kill you. But the same goes as Night 1 for everything else. Night 3 adds a whole boss, Dreadbear. He acts like Freddy in FNAF 1. Same thing goes with the flashing and the power takes even longer to reset. Overall, Danger Keepout's really fun, and I actually enjoyed it a little bit more than I enjoyed FNAF 1 and base FNAF VR. I thought it was really cool, and I always loved Dreadbear. And that pretty much wraps up Five Nights at Freddy's VR. There were a couple cool secrets that were added in order to advertise Five Nights at Freddy's security breach. Like there was a room you could go through at the end of the pizza party where you'd go outside in the winter and you'd see the Pizzaplex being built. I loved this secret a lot, mainly because I have a lot of nostalgia for security breach and just the era that it came out, I have a lot of nostalgia for. Five Nights at Freddy's VR is my second favorite FNAF game, only second to, funny enough, FNAF VR 2, which I really do want to do a video on soon because I think it improves on the original in every possible way and is the best FNAF game ever made. But anyway guys, I hope you did enjoy this video of me talking about Five Nights at Freddy's VR. Please be sure to subscribe as well, as I'm going to be sticking more to video essays from now on. I really do enjoy playing games and recording them, but I'm really proud of these video essays. I put so much more work into them and I really just enjoy doing them a lot more. Anyways guys, I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!